Okay, we're now in session as the Board of Equalization. Everyone that is going to participate in a hearing from the 11 o'clock hour, will you please stand, and the Deputy Clerk will swear you in.
Will you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear that any testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Leyba, go ahead and come on up to the table. So this is a hearing of the Board of Equalization under Idaho Law 63501. The Board of County Commissioners is required to convene as the BOE. We're here to determine market value under Idaho Law 63205. All real, personal, and operating property subject to property taxation must be assessed annually at market value for assessment purposes as of 12:01 a.m. of the first day of January in the year in which such property taxes are levied. Furthermore, under Idaho Code 63502, the function of the Board of Equalization shall be confined strictly to assuring that the market value for assessment purpose of property has been found by the assessor, and to the functions provided for in Chapter 6, Title 63, Idaho Code relating to exemptions from property tax. I've got to find my place here. From taxation. It is hereby made the duty of the Board of Equalization to enforce and compel a proper classification and assessment of all property required under the provisions of this title to be entered on the property rolls. And in so doing, the Board of Equalization shall examine the rolls and shall raise or cause to be raised or lower or cause to be lowered the assessment of any property which in the judgment of the Board has not been properly assessed. The taxpayer shall have the burden of proof in seeking affirmative relief to establish that the determination of the assessor is erroneous, including any determination of assessed value. A preponderance of evidence shall suffice to sustain the burden of proof. We are here to discuss the market value of property, the condition, state, or information that is relevant to this topic. This is fact, not conjecture or things you may think. We are not here to discuss taxes, past grievances, policy, personal income, or other issues. If you do not stick to the discussion as requested, your time will be reclaimed. So the property owner is going to be given 3 minutes. This white light will come on as you begin, and then the yellow light here on this table will come on when there's 1 minute to go. The red light goes off and your time's up. And then they will ask if there's a question here, if there's to answer things that you talked about, if they have questions. And then the assessor's table will be given 3 minutes, and then you will be able to ask questions about what they just stated. And then the board will have a discussion and make our decision. The rules are to be kind, direct all questions or comments directly to us three, the board. If your conduct is out of line, you will be warned, and if your conduct continues to be out of line, you will be asked to leave or escorted from the building. Go ahead and state your name, and then your time will begin.
Okay. My name is Richard Leyba. I live at 4780 Whitaker Road in Chubbuck. My assessment on my property has quadrupled since last year. Last year's value was $25,240. This year, it's $99,569. My trailer is 50 years old. It's a 1973 double wide. It's 24 by 60. I don't really have a problem with the improvement to the housing, the appraisal of that, $5,480. I don't understand where that comes from without actually going inside someone's home or seeing new improvements on the outside. I haven't really put a whole lot of improvement to this place because it is so old. I thought about putting a roof on it, thought about putting siding on it. That may still happen, but the trailer is so old, it's just not worth putting that much money into it. I know that if I were to go in and try to get a loan towards improving the place, they would laugh at me because it's too old. That's the only problem that I'm having with it, is that assessment, is that, you know, it's quadrupled. So that's my big concern. And according to your guys' website, it's saying here, how much are manufactured homes in 2022? And it says for used mobile homes, the prices range from $12,000 to $75,000. So all of a sudden, mine's like even more than that, a quarter more than that. And I seen that there was a lot of improvements in, what do you call them? Hang on 1 minute. Into the building permits of last year. There was like 458 per your guys' website. This year, there's only 194. I don't really see the growth in this area for mobile homes. I see a lot of homes or apartments and stuff getting built, but I don't see much in the way of mobile homes becoming, manufactured homes becoming great. Mine's a 2x4 frame on the outside. Most of the new manufactured homes are 2x6s. I just don't understand how you can compare something from 1990 to something from 1973. That's my statements.
Okay, thank you. Questions? Okay, your time begins now.
Okay, as we talked a little bit earlier about this, first off, I'm Jason, one of the residential appraisers. Just want to go over the subject a little bit to kind of explain how we came up with some of the comparables. Subject is a double wide 1972, around 1,440 square feet, and it's coming in about $69 per square foot. We kind of focused on, he was okay with the land and the other situations, so we're trying to focus on mobile homes. So the comparables are based, pretty much off of that. The first comparable is 1,344 square feet. It's coming in above at $73 per square foot. The next one is, and these two are less square footage and valued more per square foot, by the way. This one's at 1,416 square foot, just a little under his, about at $89 a square foot. And then this one's just a little bit higher square foot, 1,612, and it's valuing at 73. So it's showing that he's equitable with similar era homes, similar size finished square footage, and they're all within 4 years of the subject. Let's see, they're all close to the same size, same building quality. Let's see, I kind of wanted to touch on the 94 homes that he saw. That's only in the first quarter only. We hadn't finished yet, so I'm sure that's going to go up. Again, like I was explaining to Commissioner Huff, is that, sadly, the mobile homes have now become the affordable housing market. Stick homes, 100,000, 150,000, back in the days was your entry-level homes. Well, now your entry level is anywhere from $200,000 to $400,000 for your home. And some people can't budget or afford that. Mobile homes now, if you gotta go buy a new one, 150 to 200 plus thousand for a home in a 1 to 2 year wait. Which is leading to some of the used homes. The used homes, the market is increasing for them as well. People are having to get creative on what they can afford. And, since building material cost goes up for the newer mobile homes, the materials that are already in the older mobile homes are being increased as well. Supply and demand is another big thing with that. It's bringing the values up of the mobile homes substantially, and especially some of the older ones. I noticed he had mentioned somewhere that he, may I finish that or no?
Nope.
Okay.
Questions about what he just stated?
I've read all that stuff. I went to the website and looked at those comparisons, and I don't agree with them. I've been living in this home for 34 years, and I've had this happen again. I came in here once before to appeal, and it got dropped then too because of the same issue. It's just such an old home, and for you to compare something from 1973 to a new home.
And this was if you had questions about what he stated, not re-emphasizing.
Okay.
your point. Okay, thank you. Commissioners?
No, I have some questions for the assessor. Looking at your comps here, you have 1 comp in Chubbuck, 2 in McCammon. to me, the McCammon ones wouldn't really be relevant to what's going on here in Chubbuck and Pocatello as far as mobile homes. Do you have other comps of mobile homes that were sold in this? I'm sure there's plenty of sales in Chubbuck and in Pocatello that I would think would be around the same age.
I mean, they're selling, but we are using all the mobile homes to try to find. We don't have as many sales, believe it or not yet. But we had to kind of go out throughout that area to kind of find some similar. Every mobile home is different, slightly, other than the single wides, but, we had to broaden our area to search.
Well, I know of two that just sold in Pocatello that were double wides in the 70s. They were nowhere near this
When did they sell?
price. Sorry?
When did they sell?
When did they sell? Within the last month?
Okay, well, we're using 2022 sales between that period. We're seeing a reduction and a slowdown, but we have to use our sales base between Jan 1 of 2010 to 22 and December 31st of 2022.
I would have liked to have seen some Chubbuck Pocatello home. I honestly don't think this is comparable at all when you're talking about McCammon. Let me ask you a question, sir. Is there any damage or are there repairs needed to this home?
Nothing major, no.
Nothing major?
Mm-mm.
Okay, thank you.
And my question would be the comps and how do you evaluate between a 2x4 construction and a 2x6 construction? When was the timeline? I mean, like some of these comps are 1976 compared to 72. So was there a difference in the building construction at these times or anything?
It's just based off of the sales. I mean, most of them during that era and during that time are going to have similar construction. And without going in and seeing, we don't really value a 2x4 size, but most of the mobile homes are average condition. I don't think we have very many that are grade 4 or higher, so most of them are all grade 3. And then the condition will adjust based on, if it's in bad condition. But all these comps that are here are from the same era and similar condition for age.
Yeah, like I say, I'm just curious when they started going from 2x4 to 2x6. I mean, that's a lot different structure.
I was seeing that in about the 90s.
Okay.
So.
I have another question for you, sir. You own the land that this home is on?
Yes.
Okay.
Further questions, Commission? Motion?
I'll make a motion on this one. I don't think this is realistic. And so on parcel, let me get this where I can actually read it here.
And I appreciate that, but would you say what evidence you're basing this on? Just so that's for the record.
Sure thing.
Okay.
So I do know of a couple of homes that sold double wides for far less than what they are estimating this home to sell for. I just don't think this is realistic. And I'm also concerned about pulling comps from McCammon. To me, that's a completely different market, and you're looking at the amount of land. The land's going to be factored in
Yeah.
when you're buying these homes.
Yeah.
So I just, I think it's overvalued for those reasons.
And so what would the value be that you would say?
Well,
according to these sales that you
according
have?
to the numbers that they're talking about, they said, I think this was the assessor's thing that said they were ranging from 12 to 75, is that right?
Yeah, that was during the presentation, yeah.
So I would say 75 would be the top end, and that's what I would suggest, so.
Okay. So
For the home portion of it. They said, it says 99 on this thing, and I would guess that would be really 75 would be more realistic.
Okay, so we have a motion to adjust the improvement from 99 down to 75,000.
Correct.
Further questions? No, I'll go. Okay, we have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So, sir, your value has been lowered from what your total was there. But on the improvements, we went from 99, basically 100,000 to 75,000.
Okay.
That is the decision of this board. You have the right to appeal, and so do they. You're gonna get a letter here in a couple of weeks that's gonna state what we decided here. But like I say, both you and the assessor have the ability to go to the state Board of Appeals or to the district courts. Other than that, I'd say that your hearing is over.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Appreciate your time.
All right. Like McCarthy.
Morning, John.
Good morning. State your name and then your 3 minutes will begin.
My name is Marty McCarty. I own the house at 304 Bannock Street. I bought it 12 years ago. When I bought it, it was uninhabitable. I have pictures here of what it looks like today, where the whole back of the house is actually sinking into the ground because there's no foundation under the house. In 1920, it was built on railroad ties. That has never been corrected. If you look at it from the front, it's got what appears to be a concrete foundation, which is not. It's a flood wall. Behind that flood wall is railroad ties, all the way around the house, holding the house up. I've got pictures of the north side that show clearly the house is below ground level. The floor in my bedroom is below ground level because over the years, the ground has just been seeped up and added there over the last 100 years. There's supposedly a basement under the house, which is an 8x10 room with a dirt floor. That's not a basement. It doesn't have air conditioning. It's got one heater in the living room, a gas heater that heats the entire house. If you don't leave the doors open in the window to your bedroom, you freeze to death. This house is not worth $175,000. I was told by one of these gentlemen he could easily get $250,000 for it just from looking at the picture from Google Earth. There's just no way anyone could sell that house for $200,000. I've had real estate agents come out and look at it and tell me that they won't even try to sell it until I fix the foundation, put gutters all the way around it, have the roof repaired, and level the place out. Right now, my bathroom floor misses the rest of the house by about 1.25 inches. And you're more than welcome to come out and look anytime.
Okay, remember your discussion
I'm
right
sorry.
here.
Anyone is welcome to come out and look. Give me a call, and I'm just trying to make the house so I can live there till I die. And there ain't no way I could sell that for $200,000. It's just impossible. I don't understand why this is. I went up $66,000 in 1 year. I did nothing to it. It had the original shipboard siding on it, flatboard siding, whatever they call that. That's insanity. I got an estimate of $75,000 to lift it up and put a foundation under it. I can't afford that.
Mr. Chair, can I make a motion now to expedite this?
Yes, you can, because I was wondering to myself.
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we remand this back to the assessor to go do an on-site valuation so we can take the condition of the property into account.
Thank you.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So that's what we'll do. They'll come over and look at it.
Thank you very much. That works for me.
Yes.
Is there any way we could, if you wouldn't mind giving some of those pictures that we can put on your file? This is stuff we weren't aware of before, so that would definitely make a difference.
You see that picture right there? That's the roof line where they originally tried to fix it.
And what I would ask is if
No.
you would go ahead and get them pictures when you go over so that,
I'd be more than happy to give you these.
well, as part of this hearing, we
have to
can't
move
set
along here, so
new
let's just.
new
Oh, okay,
information.
Okay.
You guys are talking back and forth, and that's not part of the hearing. so-
Okay, sorry.
Thank you.
Thank
Are we
you.
done then?
Yep.
We are.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I had the same thoughts. Marcy, you're up. How are you?
Good.
And I will disclose that I know Marcy, she's a friend, but I still feel like I can do my job without prejudice.
Okay. My name is Marcy Turner Alston. And I'm talking about the house on Cami. It is a rental, but originally it was moved onto that place, I guess. So it's older than the area, and they never accommodated it for city sewer. The city sewer, 10 years ago, quoted us $20,000 to attach it to the city sewer, because the housing behind us didn't put a sewer on that street. They put one on this corner, and they put one on this corner. So it has one tiny bathroom that you can't close the door if you're using, you have to go in, close the door, and then sit down. So we can't add another bathroom because it's on a cesspool. It's not even on a septic tank. It's on a cesspool. It doesn't, we can't accommodate a full family there. Somebody had put a bathroom in the basement at one time. We had to totally take it out because it floods. So it just, the house itself is not worth it. I mean, we paid $70,000 when we bought it, but we kind of bought it in with the front house too. We bought them both. So it just doesn't seem like it should go up, because I can't improve it until I can update the bathroom. I can't update the bathroom till I attach to city sewer. I can't attach to city sewer because it wasn't accommodated. Even though that house was there, when they put that housing in, they didn't grandfather it into city sewer.
Okay. Questions?
No, would you be opposed to a re-inspect on that, to be able to go and look at it again?
Yeah, I mean, there's no looking at the sewer. I mean,
Sorry.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion that we remand this one back to the assessor to do an on-site inspection.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, well, they'll come by and make an arrangement.
Okay.
Sure, Anita will walk out with you right now.
yeah, she'll get the address and stuff. Okay, yep. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Durfee. You're up.
Since we're 2 for 2, Mr. Durfee, is your condition okay? Is the condition of your property okay?
I don't know. I've got some ideas. But my name's Steve Durfee. I live at 4999 Clearview Avenue. And my property is on 2 parcels, separate parcels, the house being on one, and then there's a smaller parcel. And the smaller parcel is a canyon. Now, some people might call it a ravine, but I look at it, it's pretty steep. And when you enter our driveway, that parcel comes up to the end of the driveway, and it's just a draw where you could access that property separate of the other parcel that my house is on. That property went from 1,550 to 22,205. And I just don't understand why, because you can't do anything with it. You couldn't put a septic on it because there's no place to put a leach field. So that was my first thing. And then my other question was on where my structure is, my house. It went up a decent amount. But my question is, I was told it was compared to like structures. It's a 1972. it was like square footage. And I understand that, but it wasn't explained to me when I asked if the like structure didn't have sewer, city sewer. We have no access to sewer. And curbs, gutters, we have none of those amenities being annexed into the city as we are. So that my question is how they came to the assessed value of the house and property, but mostly just the house.
Okay.
And that's it.
All right. Questions?
No.
Your 3 minutes begin now.
Okay, so we'll refer to the land itself first here. The reason for the change in the land is it went from an old converted token value to additional acres. Both parcels are next to one another, so they are treated contiguously. So the first acre or the home site went on the house with or the parcel with the house, and this second acre, as mentioned, was put on as additional acres simply to account for the fact that it is, we're trying to make it, all the land up there equitable. On the land on the first house did go down 13,600 from last year, but this additional acres is the one that was a converted one that did go up 20,000. So the overall change for both parcels together was about a $7,000 increase on the land combined. And the reason I mention that is because we try to value them together because they're contiguous. For the home itself, this is one where we have taken into account the fact that there haven't been any real additional upgrades or extras to it, so its effective age is the same as its year built. It's 1973. On this, I would note that the comparables are about at most 5 years, within 5 years of the comparable. They're all in the same Johnny Creek area. And when we're looking at the price per square foot for these homes, we're coming in right in line with where they should be, if maybe not a little bit low. When we're looking at these comparable properties, along with when we did our analysis, since it's a unique area, like you mentioned, without curbs and without gutters, and several of those homes have their own septic. So on this one, we noted, I believe, has a septic separate from that. Yeah, just a septic separate from that. So we tried to only use sales in that area when adjusting for that fact. That it doesn't have the same curb and gutters like you would find in most subdivisions.
Is that it?
I would make note. I believe so. I've addressed the land, I've addressed the house, and yes, that would be it. Yes.
Okay. Comments, questions about what he just said?
Yeah, I mean, my question was the comparable houses to, no curbs and gutters. He said it was up in that area, but I don't know of a place that he's comparing it to that has a septic system, not city sewer. Because there are plenty up there that do have city sewers. But that's why I'm questioning, is because there's not a bunch that have septics, which puts us in a unique situation. Even when we go to try to sell, that's going to be a deterrent unless we had an opportunity to have the city run sewer up there, which has been brought up and dropped numerous times. The math between the difference of the property, I'm not following, where the one went up 20 grand and the other one dropped 7 for a difference of, I can't remember what he said.
7,000.
Yeah. I'm not sure on that, but that property increase, there's no way to build anything on that, just because it's a draw. It just, when you enter to access it, it's a draw, and then it continues to be a draw all the way up to Johnny Creek Road. So I'm just dumbfounded at the price increase on the taxes of this separate parcel, and both parcels put together aren't an acre.
Okay. Commission?
And I'm looking at the Google Earth to see, to confirm, and I would confirm with Mr. Durfee that the second parcel is pretty much unusable land. I don't see what you can really do with it, so.
And let me interject right here. The application doesn't have an appeal on that ground. The application says the parcel number is 1003700. In the comments, it mentions
Yeah.
800, but the appeal is for parcel 1003700.
So are you saying that we can't talk about that? And
So there was not an appeal on the 800 parcel.
Can I answer to that?
Yeah.
When I brought the paperwork in, I asked her about that, and she says, just put the one the house is on up there on that deal. And she goes, you've got the other one down in your comments. So that's what I did. I did that. I put that parcel number in at the desk downstairs. That's why I did it that way. If I'd have known this, if she'd have told me you gotta have both of them up there, I would have done that. But that's why you're seeing that one up on top and then the other one in my
Okay.
explanation.
But, okay, and I'll have a conversation there, but as we look at the appeals, that is the parcel that is being appealed. Because of that comment, I'll let Commissioner Huff go ahead with his thoughts.
I would tend to agree with him a little bit on the pricing of that parcel. I don't agree that last year's value is where it should be, but just kind of rubbing my gut on that, I would say it should be about in that $10,000 or $12,000 range for that parcel. The other property value, I have no problem with it being where it is at.
Any comments?
No, I think what Commissioner Huff's saying, I think he's got it.
When you make your motion, would you designate on each parcel?
Sure. Mr. Chair, on parcel RPTL 1003700, I would make a motion that we uphold the assessed value on that. And then on parcel RPTL 1003800, I would make a motion that we put the value at $12,000 even.
You have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So we've made the adjustments, but like I've told everybody else, you have the ability to appeal, they have the ability to appeal. You'll get a letter here in a couple of weeks that'll tell you what the decision was, and then go from there.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. So we're done?
Yes, yes.
All right.
You are, we're not.
Have a good rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back to Gerald Johnson.
Last one we just did. I was looking at a topography adjustment might be. It goes up. We can look at that later. That's pretty steep. I was looking at it. No, this one, not this one. Right. This one.
And there is no preponderance of evidence whatsoever.
Mr. Chair, based on a lack of preponderance of evidence, I make a motion that we uphold the assessed value as presented.
We have a motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next, we have John Williams. This is another one,
This is similar.
property.
Just wanted to point this out. This is similar here to what we were just talking about. And quite a considerable difference.
And I agree, but that's where the preponderance of evidence has
Right,
to
right.
come.
No, I'm just talking, I'm just interested.
Yeah.
All right, who are we on now?
This one is John P. Williams.
Okay.
The value of the land's gone up, the value of the house has gone down. Comments on your work?
Yeah, no, on this one, I would say, this is the one that's close to the university, right? And so those are site rating D, and I don't know if you remember them or not, site rating C and D areas, so those are the benchmark, kind of the level, middle ground for, and he's right on the border of that one there, like, the comparables will have different land values.
Yeah.
So the comparables are close by, they are in a different site rating area.
If you're gonna buy a lot or a house in the university area,
Yeah. Sales are higher in that area, not a whole lot higher. The ratios are a bit off there, the total value feels there, but the ratios are off. It's one of those that really would hope to be able to correct this next year.
Looking at this picture, I'm going to disclose that I think I know the owner of this house, but that's not going to impact my ability to make a decision here.
so noted. Any comments, commissioners?
A home in the university area for $190,000 is a good deal. Mr. Chair, on parcel RPPOC 024700, I make a motion due to a lack of a preponderance of evidence that we uphold the assessed value.
We have a motion, all in favor say aye.
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 With that being said, we are adjourned for the day. Then if you notice